It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. Taking thought beyond that which it has been before. You're doing that all the time, but in a forum like this, it is more noticeable. When together we move into a new place, we all know it, don't we? And it isn't just that you discover things that you didn't know before. It's that the combination of that which you are in your physical format and that which you are in your non-physical format forges out new territory. And there is exhilaration in that process. Sometimes consternation in the beginning of it. In other words, when contrast causes you to ask for something beyond what you have, that expanding into a new place, if you're not knowledgeable of your worthiness and of your ability to create, could make you uncomfortable. In other words, to ask for something and have no way of knowing how to bring it about feels uncomfortable. But when you understand that you are the creator of your own reality, and that when you ask, it is the most natural thing in the world, and that, of course, you're asking often from a place of not having. It's why you're asking a sharpened soul. When you are asking from your place of not having, however, you have to find a way of muting or diluting or changing that vibration of, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it, or you can't have it. So wanting with the knowledge of how to go about receiving is blissful. Wanting in doubt or in not understanding how things happen, when you're counting on luck or chance or the good nature of another, not so pleasant. We call this gathering the art of allowing. And what it really means is it's the art of allowing what you've asked for to fully manifest in your experience. It's also the art of allowing you in your physical format to be a vibrational match to the broader part of you. You are so much more than these physical bodies, while they are wonderful. You are, in these bodies, an extension of source energy. And while you are flesh, blood, and bone, you are much more vibration. You are energy. And the way you most understand your energy is through the thought process. The thought of despair is a vibration or an energy offering that is very different than the thought of appreciation. They are very different frequencies. The thought of exhilaration, the feeling of exhilaration, accompanies thoughts that are higher in frequency than the feeling of loneliness. In other words, the better you feel, the higher your vibration. The worse you feel, the lower your vibration. But it's even more than that. It's not just a high or low vibration that makes you feel the way you do. It's the relationship of that high and low vibration to your always high vibration as source energy beings. And that's the thing that most people don't quite understand. You were source energy. You were only energy before you became focused in this physical body. But even though now a part of that energy is focused in this physical body, the larger part of that energy is still vibrating and it's still high. So when you find thoughts and you teach them to yourselves until they become chronic or what you call beliefs, that vibrational pattern is always playing against the high vibrational pattern of who you really are. So the better job you do of allowing yourself harmony with that higher vibration, the better you feel. The worse job you do of allowing that harmony, the worse you feel. That's what your emotional guidance system is about. It's all about the guidance system itself, the emotions themselves, are indications. They're not, your emotions don't make things happen. They just indicate what your vibrations are making or allowing to happen. See how it works? So, if you are aware that you are source energy, and if you understand that source energy loves, and you have picked out some component of your society, maybe something up close and really personal, and you are not only not loving it, you are loathing it. That feeling of loathing, that feeling of hatred, that feeling of anger, Those feelings, you know what we're talking about. You know how they feel. Those feelings are your indicator that you are not allowing alignment with who you are. Now, you certainly have free will to do that. And there are many of you who would say, yes, Abraham. And we are also justified in this perspective because that person did that or that or that or failed to do that or that or that. So my negative emotion is proportionate to their behavior. And if I'm going to change my emotion, they need to change their behavior. Because I'm just having a knee-jerk response to the way they're behaving. Well, those knee-jerk responses are tiring, aren't they? Because you can't control the world. And further, as soon as you wrestle one of them to the ground and teach them the error of their ways and make them promise not to ever do that again, another one just like it shows up in your experience, because when you've been noticing it, it's active in your vibration. And when it's active in your vibration, law of attraction is going to continue to show it to you. Different places, different faces. But the same essence is going to keep coming to you over and over again as long as it's active in your vibration. So it turns out that you have the free will to allow any vibration that you choose. You can choose things that thrill you. You can choose things that make you furious. You can choose things that make you afraid. You can choose things that make you feel secure. They're all out there. It's a smorgasbord. It's a buffet of choices, and you have the free will to choose. We just want you to know that you have the free will to choose, and that you are choosing, and that the circumstances of any moment in time or any environment do not need to dictate your choices. You are smarter than that. You don't have to. That would be like turning on your television and seeing some movie that is really offensive to you. The chainsaw just chopped off another head, and it was painful to watch, but you just sit there and watch it anyway. Why are you watching that? It's on. But why are you watching that? Because it's happening in front of me. So I thought I should. Or Esther's favorite line, especially in the beginning, but Abraham, it's true. As if the truth of something is the appropriate criteria for why you would choose it. And we say there are so many things that are true. Pick the good feeling ones to focus upon. And people say, well, aren't we just putting our head in the sand? Aren't we ignoring? Won't things get worse if we don't find the things that are wrong and do something about it? And we say, it's perfectly appropriate to find the things that you don't think are right, to find the things that you would rather be different. That's step one of the creative process, in fact. You said, I'll go forth into this contrast, and from it I will decide. But so often, you long decide that you don't want this, which helps you to clearly decide that you do want this. And that's the point that you want to turn your attention to what you do want. We want you to decide to be more deliberate about what you give your attention to. Because when you decide what you'll give your attention to, then and only then will you consistently be a vibrational match. Will you consistently allow your alignment with who you really are? The source within you will not come into a lower vibration to join you in a thought. That's why you feel negative emotion. If when you got ornery, source would come and be ornery too, it wouldn't feel ornery. It would feel euphoric. Anytime you are in sync with source, you feel good. But source maintains the highest frequency it has found because source focuses. And you help source find higher and higher frequencies because you keep deciphering life and asking for more and more and more. So here's the whole process. You were non-physical energy before you came into this body, and a part of that non-physical energy focused into this body that you know as you. But even though you are here and you are you, the larger part of you, the source energy part of you, is still in non-physical, still offering that high, pure, non-resistant vibration. So here you are. As you explore the variety of what surrounds you, you know what you don't want, which causes you to know what you do want. And when you know what you do want, without knowing it, well, many of you now know it, but even if you don't know it, you emanate a rocket of desire, an equal, proportionate asking on the other end of what you don't want. That's what this contrasting experience does for all of us. So here's this new desire, and the source within you receives that rocket of desire and absorbs it or incorporates it into the whole of that vibration. In other words, when you're sick, you ask for wellness, and the inner being, the source energy part of you, becomes weller than it was before you got sick. If you are confused and ask for clarity, the source energy you becomes clearer than you were before you got confused. In other words, that's what the expansion of all is. That's what the evolution of all species is about. So we want you to at least try to accept that while you are here in this physical body, you are causing an expansion of the non-physical part of you. And in fact, while you are creating your houses and your lovers and your lifestyles, while you are creating your fortunes, your empires, while you are creating the stuff of your physical world that you call your hopes and dreams or goals, while you're doing all of that, what you're really creating is an expanded version of you. You are the creator, but you are also the created. You are also the creation. In other words, when life causes you to ask for more, you become that more. When life causes you to ask for more wellness, you create a weller you. When life causes you to ask for more abundance, you create a more abundant you. So now, remember those two perspectives of you and you. There's the more abundant you that is just expanded because of the less abundant you. But now the more abundant you, in its dominant offering of vibration and law of attraction responding to its dominant offering of vibration, now that more abundant you, if you are to feel good, must be met by you. You can't let life cause you to become more abundant and keep beating the drum from your physical format of not enough money and ever feel good. And it's so interesting to watch you because your life keeps causing you to become more, but if you don't go, you feel worse. So much so that sometimes people say, I felt better before I knew I wanted that. I felt better before I met that person that inspired me to that new wanting. And we say, you can't hold yourself back. You have joined this creative process where step 1 says the contrast in your physical format will cause you to ask. Step 2 is the non-physical source energy part of you will absorb and become and integrate and morph that newly amended desire into the whole, will literally become that newly improved entity or state of being that law of attraction is responding to, and will eternally, because you are hooked to it vibrationally, call you toward it. And if you come, you'll feel good in the coming and great in the getting there. And if you don't come, you'll feel awful in the resistance of letting yourself be who life has caused you to become. You just can't live without expanding, and you just can't expand without needing to consciously keep up with your expansion. You're like a two-headed monster, and we mean that in the nicest of ways. And if both heads are not moving in the same direction, you don't feel good. So sometimes people think that what we are trying to get you to do is just always be that perfect vibrational match. And we say, it's nice if you can do it, but you can't, because you live in this environment of contrast where you are wanting the inspiration for more. Some of you who have been listening to us for a while are beginning to understand that even in this non-physical beingness, there is still contrast which is causing expansion. But the contrast of the non-physical is so slight that from your physical perspective, it would be indiscernible. You could not even recognize it. But contrast exists in all environments. Therefore, expansion is an eternal equation. Contrast is what puts the eternalness in eternity. It's a good thing. So step 1 is contrast causes you to ask. Step 2 is the larger part of you absorbs the new asking and becomes it. And as law of attraction responds to that powerful becoming, you have a choice about what you do with step 3. And step 3 is you must become a vibrational match to the newly expanded being that you have become. If you are to feel good. You don't have to do it. You can hold yourself apart from it. You know people like that. People who hold themselves apart from their expansion are ornery. They're often overwhelmed. They are frequently frustrated. And if they have really been doing a good job of holding themselves apart from it, they're angry a lot.